Um, yeah, hi. Hello. It is Wednesday. And it is an interesting day today. Hi, Majestic Mag. Thanks for joining the chat. It's what a day. What a week. And I don't know if you can tell, there's no natural light coming in today. And that is because the bay isn't getting any sunlight. um, because of all the, well, probably easier to just show the photos. So, I don't know. Yep. So this is what's happening right now. This is basically a very accurate yeah, this is very accurate in terms of what it currently looks like. Uh, hi, Gilliam. Gilliam says, "Did you get the lighting right?" Yeah. So this is what's happening in the Bay right now. It's been like this. Actually, I think it was actually a little bit lighter at like 8:30 or 8 a.m. or something. It's like 2 p.m. right now. The sky is pretty much completely orange and black. Yeah, this is actually my phone refuses to capture the orange. Like it just like auto adjusts. It like refuses to acknowledge. Um, so, but yeah, um it's orange and black and looks like nighttime. So that's what's happening with the lighting. Um, uh, Gilliam asks, "Does it stay? It will stay this way tonight too." I have no idea. I'm not a weather person, or um, I have no idea. It looks really eerie. Honestly, I think some people. I think it's um disorienting is a very good descriptor. Apocalyptic is also a very good descriptor. So I read up on like what's happening. I am no scientist, so I cannot like accurately regurgitate what I read, but I guess it's um all of the fires that are around us, and also even there's been fires in Oregon, and I guess the wind has like kind of blown all of it this way, and in some places apparently it was like quote unquote snowing ash earlier today. I don't know if it's still happening, but something about like the fact that it's actually a lot of the ash and stuff is like trapped somewhere in the atmosphere and like isn't coming down is actually the reason why like the air quality is okay. But I guess that's kind of why it has like there isn't like a fire nearby us or anything. It's just I guess all of the fires around, which yeah, in all of my 2 decades living in California, like in Southern California and Northern California, and all of the years that I've like witnessed wildfires, I think this is the very first time that like it's blanketed the sky enough that it looks like nighttime. Um, but yeah, hi, hello near this. Thanks for joining today. Hello near this says, "Wow, another good reason to wear a mask." Yeah, so we something left out in that our mask supply has been running low. So we've been like looking at so we originally had some masks because my mom had sent us some masks, but that supply we've been like really frugal with it, but we were like starting to run lower. So then we like made some orders for like reusable masks that also has filters. The website is called Vog Mask, and like we like ordered it maybe a week or 2 weeks ago because they've like would restock and then run out. Anyways, that's a tangent. and it just happened to come in a few days ago. So it's been really helpful for like just all the ash. I woke up this morning with like a sore throat because of the smoke. Um, but yeah, it's 2020 has it's been a year. But I think with like all of the fires that's been going on and smoke and stuff, I feel like um yeah, I hope uh the people that don't have shelter, I hope they've gotten shelter, or yeah, I hope that they have shelter. Like I don't know what this means for like the animals and the plants and the ecosystem. Yeah, it's I guess it's been wild. um Uh, hi. Oh, hi, Quiet Deviant. Thanks for joining today. Majestic Max says nighttime may be darker than normal. Yeah, we'll see. It's very disorienting. It feels like it's nighttime. Hello, near this says as bad as Aussie was. Oh, Aussie. Is that? Do you mean? Yeah, because there was the wildfires earlier in Australia. Um, which honestly feels like a long time ago. So when the wildfires started um here, um somebody was like, yeah, like somebody was saying something about, it's as bad as like the wildfires in Australia, and I was like, whoa, yeah, that was this year. It feels like such a long time ago. Um yeah, that what a um crazy image. Anyways, so that is why lighting is different from usual today. um, Hi BB5999. Thanks for joining today too. Yeah, so that is how honestly I think um, like trying yes, thank you for joining the chat. Honestly, trying to like not uh be so down about it, I guess. Like just everything. But this morning I was like, yep, it's um like at points this morning I was like, yep, feels kind of hard to function right now. But yeah, I mean, in the overall context of things, I think I still like we still have it pretty good. So I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna stop looking at all these videos. Um, Anyways, so what we're going to do today is, so Friday, we got to this point, which is, we drew, I need to erase that. We drew some ideas. We sketched out some ideas. We're not 100% sure yet how this is gonna look, but we'll see. And today, originally I was thinking that I'll like keep prototyping and observable, but then I realized that it might be easier now that I'm starting the custom part to use Vue. So a little bit of background is I for all of my projects for the last, I guess, 2 years I've been using Vue with D3, and the reason for that is I find Vue's template system um, um, so, oh, hello, lactose intolerable. Um, Me too, me too. There are some things that I will not give up with lactose, though. Gilliam says, yes, Vue intro. Hello, near this says, coding with fire does some interesting things with air quality on observable. Let's see. Ah, cool. It's EJ and Ian. EJ and Ian have also been streaming on Twitch. I wonder what their handle is. Is it? Oh wait, maybe the handle will be on here. Yeah, so they've been streaming also. And what's their schedule? Oh, awesome. I don't know if they have like a specific schedule. Oh, they streamed on Monday. Yeah, so Ian and EJ have been streaming like visualization things. So if you're interested in another channel that does visualizations, I would highly recommend them. Majestic Max says they're lactose intolerant too, but ice cream is worth the pain. I absolutely agree. I think ice cream and milk tea, like boba milk tea, I'm just like, I will suffer the consequences. And hi, Thirsty Pooch. Thanks for joining today too. Oh my gosh, that is quite lactose intolerant. So lactose intolerable says, gotta risk it for a chocolate biscuit. So even chocolate, does that trigger it? Frozen Thick says, chemistry hurt. Yeah, so, oh wow. Wonder what this is? Let's see. It says Berkeley, San Francisco, San Mateo. Oh, so this is the Bay Area, but then it's a little bit, but instead of so this is actually north. Over here is north, and this is south. So the like map has been like flipped, like counterclockwise by 90 degrees. Haven't figured out what the colors are. Yeah, I know that Ian has been doing a lot of work on kind of all of the fires that have been going on. Let's see. There's been, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's been doing a lot of work with like air quality sensors too. So I guess that means all of the green, all of the dots, it seems like, are air quality sensors. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Oh yeah, so Ian has also been streaming with Anjana. Yeah. So definitely check them out. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, thank you. Hello, near this says Bay Area rotated 90 degrees, colors are air quality. Lactose intolerable said it'd be interesting to watch somebody make one of those visualizations from the ground up. I think that's what Ian and EJ have been doing on their Twitch streams. Like, so I think that's exactly what they've been doing. Okay, so so today we're gonna get started with Vue. And the reason why I like Vue is because, and I'm not going to try and give like an in-depth intro or anything, but Vue has a kind of a template system that looks a lot like how you would write things in HTML or with SVG. And I find that way of thinking so much easier. So then you would basically write kind of so you would write something like this, and here you'll have like these to-do items, and you might be looping through all of them using this v-for, and then that's how you create like multiple DOM elements. And actually, I can probably, this might be the easiest way to illustrate. So the number one reason why I like using Vue and D3 is, yeah, so I guess we're gonna do this. So this is a D3 library so this is basically all of the modules and submodules in the D3 library, and I've organized them into kind of the part of the kind of visualization creation process in which I use the modules. And so I use, and the parts that I specifically use D3 for a lot is like this kind of layout calculation part, because I think D3 does this better than almost, to my knowledge, all of the libraries out there. And so these are kind of like calculating raw data and putting it into like what we need to render on the screen. And also some interactions. And then the reason why I like Vue is for their declarative rendering, which is that HTML template system I was mentioning earlier. And that replaces this part of the D3 library, which is the enter, update, exit. And that's kind of like a core part of the library that I think a lot of people struggle with. And these days, you don't really need to understand the enter, update, exit as much anymore for D3, because you can kind of like use D3 like a set of tools. Like you can just import in like specific modules that you might need. So usually I'll use these modules. And so you don't really need to understand this enter, update, exit part anymore. But if you were to like look at any of the D3 examples, like it's still, I would argue that it's still pretty good. It's good. It'd be good to understand how enter, update, exit works, just because like even if you're trying to use one of these modules and you like look at an example for one of these modules, like most of the examples still use enter, update, exit. So then being able to tell like which parts are the relevant parts for yourself in the example is, I think, pretty helpful. So yeah, so this is the number one reason why I like to use Vue over D3, which is for these kind of 12, so these 3 lines do for me what D3 does in these 12 lines. And actually, this is not even the updated one. Hold on. Yeah, so this one is the updated one. Let's see. So yeah, so in these 9 lines, these 3 lines do what these 9 lines do. And all I have to say is like, you know, loop through everything in this array and create a path for Vue, as opposed to kind of this, yeah, these set of instructions for D3. So that's why I tend to like Vue, and that's why we're just gonna go straight into Vue today, instead of trying to do this in D3 and Observable. And so yeah, I think because of that, I think we're just going to use, I tend to use Vue CLI to start up a new project. So yeah, so this will spin up, and this will basically like create a bunch of the, okay, so I am really bad I'm really bad with like build tools. I still don't really know how things fit together. I just use things like VCLI to like do it all for me. But yeah, Hello Near This says the gray USA map was cities names of over 100K and showed population density as it used alpha channels to create the intent to see. Was a great random show by Ian and EJ, but yes, Vue D3. Utsby says I get the D3 select stuff and use, but I find I forget how it works very quickly between uses. That makes sense. Lactose Intolerable says that looks like something you could do in TickZ, a LaTeX package. I've never heard of that. Hello Near This asks, so Vue has an SVG hybrid language. So I don't think it's I don't think I would describe it as an SVG hybrid language. It is basically I think of Vue as and I don't think I'm the right person to be entering this because I just know enough Vue to use it. I don't like, know how it's implemented or anything. My understanding is that Gilliam says most of us keep looking stuff up on a daily basis in response to Utsby's comment about D3 select stuff. Um, uh, but the Vue's template system, my understanding is it's kind of like how React has JSX, where it's basically, I think, all of the what HTML supports, React and Vue has it implemented as well. Please feel free to correct me on that in the chat. I have never looked at how Vue is implemented, but yeah, so Vue has, yeah, they call it declarative rendering, and it's HTML-like, and then you have, I think these are from like back when there was like handlebars and stuff. I don't really know that much like web history, but it just kind of lets you like inject, I guess, inject things programmatically. I'm botching this up, but as Utsby says, Gilliam says, I think I've ended up where Shirley is, except I use Svelte to avoid the D3 select stuff and construction of DOM objects. That makes sense. Lactose intolerable says declarative as opposed to imperative. Honestly, I never went and like figured out what imperative means. But I want to say yes. So yeah, definitely do not look to me to be an instructor for like most web things, please. I've only gone and like, to the point about D3 select stuff, I do have some, wait, there we go. I do go and, so this one, once this one comes out, but this one too, I do go into depth about how enter, update, exit. So D3 select and dot select all, dot data and enter, update, exit, all of those patterns. I do go into detail about like how they work, and hopefully like if you're ever interested in like how they work underneath the hood, because I find that once I personally, I find that when I like know how something works underneath the hood, it really helps me like kind of retain it. So if you do want to kind of like get that like in-depth understanding, I cover it in both of these. Oh, you can watch the replay. Cool. So yeah, this is the updated one. So I would recommend this one over the old one from 2017. But yeah, so if you're ever interested. And Gilliam says declare as in a bunch of key value pairs, like in like INI, any file in file or HTML attributes, or in the worst case, a complex JSON structure. I see. And I wonder. And then hello near that says let Zoom Sarah Dressner. Ed says, hey, first time here. Weren't you the one that did a talk on D3 a year back? Love the talk. Thank you. Welcome. I've done a lot of talks, so maybe I'm the one. I've done a lot of talks on D3 and dataviz and React and Vue. So if it was any of those, then yes, that's probably me. Lactose Intolerable says, yeah, and imperative programming is like a bunch of commands that describe the flow of a program. So is that like, does that mean that like this is kind of declarative and this is more like an imperative? Yeah. So is that kind of, Gilliam says, yes, declarative would be an actual program with control flow structures, variables, and the like. And so I guess the question I have now is like, Does that mean imperative is something like this? Harouse Lima says, "Hi Shirley, it is my first time here and I just want to say hello. I'm a big fan." Thank you so much. Welcome. I hope you enjoy today's stream and I hope you enjoy the chat. Everybody's been super friendly. So Gilliam says yes. So I guess this is imperative. I still don't like intuitively understand. I keep hearing the words declarative and like imperative and I still don't like intuitively understand what they mean, but yes, in my mind I feel like this way just makes more sense in my head how it's organized, and also it has like a lot less lines of code. So Lactose Intolerable says declarative would be like starting x is equal to square root of 3, and imperative would be a set of instructions on how to actually find the square root of 3. Whoa, that is a great description. Thank you. Yeah, that is a really great description. Yeah, I think my brain works a lot better when it's kind of the just writing out like how it should be. Gilliam says your left column is declarative, right column is more imperative with a pinch of declarative. Declarative means you need tooling to render the output. Imperative has the option to be self-sufficient. Otsby says declarative, there is a circle, it is red. Imperative, make a circle, paint it red. Ooh, I like that. There is a circle, it is red. Imperative is make a circle, paint it red. I like that. I hope I retain that. Thank you for explaining. I feel like I'm getting closer to like intuitively understanding these two. I hope I don't like forget it in like a few weeks. Watch. I have this feeling that like a few weeks from now, like one of you is going to be like pop quiz, like declarative versus imperative. Yeah, okay. I'm going to try and retain that. But yeah, in my head, I think my brain just works in a way where it's so much easier for me to just say, like, work in the sense of like, there is a circle, it is red. I guess another way that I've kind of thought about it is like, or I've also heard of it declarative being like you quote unquote declare what is, or like you're basically like describing how it should be, if that makes sense. Ed said, oh, about the talk I gave. I think you showed data about your vacation or something like that, looking at the colors from the pictures. Yes, that was me. That particular, this is that particular project. So this is all of the colors and the photos I took on my vacations. Which honestly, yeah, I miss being able to go to other places right now. I'm like, I think since a few months ago, I think like most countries' borders have been closed to us. And then like I think this weekend I was like, oh, I wonder if there's any countries that have like opened their borders back up to us. And actually, I think a lot of them have, but not the ones that I really, really want to travel to. Anyways, yeah, so this is, yeah, so this is probably the one a year ago. I wonder where that was. I wonder where I was giving that talk. Lactose Intolerable says, if you speak any other languages, verbs usually have an imperative form, e.g. to speak is parler in French, and its imperative speak is parler. I did not pronounce any of that correctly. Parle? Please forgive my butchering of your language. I know Gilliam is French. I'm very sorry for butchering your language. Lactose Intolerable says, don't worry. Yeah, I theoretically took French for like 2 years in high school. I retained none of it. And the languages I do speak are Chinese and Japanese. So I don't know if there's a corresponding example in Chinese and Japanese. But anyways, okay. So um, we've gone down quite a tangent again today. I should really get better at like, I don't know, keep uh yeah, I should get better at like managing myself and the time. But um let's see. I'm going to use Vue CLI. I'm going to start a new project. So let's do that. I'm gonna view create. Oh, actually, I'm gonna go into my sites folder and I'm gonna view create. What should we call it? Let's just call it CRA. Do I already have a folder named CRA? I do. What is inside it? Ah, I think it was all of the. Well, we'll create. Oh, wait. Alright, I'm gonna just create another. Let's call it CRA UI. Sure. Okay, so then. Did that actually create anything? Do I not have Vue installed? Oh, I think maybe. So I feel like whenever is it just me or like whenever I update my OS, like I guess if I think about it, it makes sense, right? Like a lot of these kind of like settings get reset because I remember the last time I updated my OS, I had to like re-hook up my local like Apache and all of that. So I guess this is probably a similar thing. Wow, have I not used Vue in so long? Sorry you have to sit through this. Really? Do I not have... Hold on. No, I do have it. Huh. So what is going on? Or Vue UI. Ooh, what is this Vue UI? 2.9. What version are we on? Oh, we're on. Wait, am I just really? Let's see. Lactose Intolerable says never upgrade OS. Tab autocompletes in terminal, by the way. Hi, Anna. Thanks for joining the chat today, too. Welcome back. Gillian says, Shirley, yeah, they tend to migrate stuff and leave a copy of your old settings on the desktop. Very annoying. Yeah. This is why I hate upgrading also. Ooh, there we go. What does it say? Wow, Vue CLI is on version 4. I wonder if that's why it wasn't working earlier. Okay, Vue create CRA UI. And now you should work. Sure, please use default. I considered doing this like offline, and then I was like, oh, maybe it'd be interesting to like go through this process together. I don't know why I thought that. I think I should have just done this process offline. This is just taking so long. I don't remember it usually taking this long. I just want to code. That's all I want to do. I saw somebody's tweet that was like about oh, Anna asks, what are you working on today, Shirley? Lactose intolerable. Those are great emotes. So today we're supposed to be implementing this with Vue and D3. So we've moved away from Observable today, actually, and we're supposed to be implementing this, but I didn't set it up ahead of time, and I can't remember the command to turn off this UI part, because I know that this UI part makes everything slower, and I can't remember how to turn that off, so it's just very slow. All right. The lodge says, Adam, I haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, I know that all the cool kids use Visual Studio Code. I keep on telling myself, one of these days, I will invest the time to figure out and set it up, but it is not yet that time, I guess. Lactose intolerable asks, what does observable mean? Great question. Observable is this, it's kind of like Jupyter Notebooks, but if it was an online service instead, and instead of all of the cells executing linearly, it's reactive. It's so this might not be a good example, but this is one of the notebooks, and oh yeah, this one's fun. Woohoo! Yeah, so we've been using observable notebooks for the last few weeks to kind of do some data analysis. I don't know why I didn't just go to those notebooks. Yeah, we've been using it for data analysis, and I originally thought that I was going to use it for design and prototype this time around too, but I decided against it today. The lodge said, I thought the chill kids use Vim. I feel like those are all the backend kids, and I feel like the front end kids use code, Visual Studio Code. Helium says, I don't even have time to answer before Shirley does today. It's because Shirley's still waiting for, there we go, for everything to finish loading. Good tip. Helen Yurda says, hide that screen so it doesn't get drawn equals faster. Lactose Intolerable says, I just use Notepad and Terminal. Hitnet says, do you use R as language? No, although I think knowing R would be very, very good for the data analysis part. Anna says, I use VS Code. Great for you. I am envious, actually. Near this says it's loading. Woo! Yay! Also, thank you for subscribing. Okay, let's actually get started. So, I'm running a lot of, oops, that's Spotify, not Adam. I'm running a lot of things today. So, my laptop, actually, my laptop is doing all right today. Anyways, okay, so with Vue CLI, what it gives us is like, yeah, it's just like gives us this nice template of slash directory structure, and has a package JSON for us already, which I should go and at least load in. I should go load in at least, let's see, D3. Does anyone know, like, am I allowed to do this? Like, where I say, like, I want to install multiple things? Because, like, I've never looked into it, but I would love to be able to do that. Hello Nearly says not subscribed, just unlocked emoji. Ooh, awesome. I didn't know you could do that. No, watch says I just use punch cards. Good for you. Anna, thanks for subscribing, Anna. With the laptop emoji. Hello Nearly says so many typos from me today. Okay, so I'm gonna hide that. Yeah, hide that. Alright, so now I'm gonna go into main.js and Vue. Okay, so here, yeah, 8080. Okay, let's go into 8080. Localhost 8080 and in app.vue, I'm just gonna delete. So I always end up doing this too, where I like delete some things to get started. I'm gonna delete this. Yes. And delete these two. And I always wonder, like, must be a. Oops, not rename. There must be like a much more efficient way to do this. Why do I keep renaming? Gah! Alright. Move to trash, yes. Okay. Alright. So now that we have everything clean, we're gonna use GitHub. We're going to. Ooh, I don't think I've started. Alright, we're gonna just commit this. It says kind of random, but what are your feelings of the market right now for junior devs? I am starting to apply. I am not a good person to answer that. And okay, so let us add in this. Okay, so I'm honestly not a good person to answer. Wait, okay, I'm gonna commit these. Yeah, just because I actually haven't been at a like company for like 4 years or something, so I've been self-employed / freelance for the last 4 years or so. So I have no idea what goes on in full-time jobs anymore. I have no idea what the landscape is like. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. Lactose Intolerable says, "Oh, this looks like when people use Jekyll to make a GitHub Pages blog." Never used Jekyll. Majestic Max says 4 years of freedom. That's right. It has been 4 years of freedom. 4 years of freedom and like, side servings of stress, but mostly freedom. It's been really good, thankfully. But it's been a little bit harder this year, definitely. But trying to figure out and pick up the pieces. Okay, so 46 minutes in, we can actually get started coding. So what we're gonna do is, let's see. We need to load in the data. So let's do this. Let's do, I think, is the data in the other. So I think it's in here. Yeah, so actually, let me do this. And then, which ones do I want? Siri Cast JSON and Movies JSON. That's right. That's the two. Oh, Movies JSON is really big. I don't think that's the right one, actually. In my downloads, movies. Well, that is not what I was hoping for. All right, I think I'm gonna have to go and get the new data collection. Ooh. Ooh, thank you. Hello, near this. So, npm set progress is equal to false. Thank you. That is the line that I've been wanting. Helium says, at ETS, the not so bright side is that many companies prefer to hire juniors based on the premise that they wouldn't ask for the same compensation as an experienced dev. That mindset hasn't changed. Yeah, that's one of the very sad things. I mean, I think there's also, I think I know some companies like hiring junior developers because then this is I guess another cynical thing that I've heard people say, which is that like because junior devs don't quote unquote come with like baggage, quote unquote. I don't know if that's the right word, but it essentially like junior devs don't come with like coding habits already formed, so then like it's easier for a company to quote unquote mold that junior dev into like the habits, whatever like coding habits that the company prefers. Yeah, that doesn't sound really great either. But yeah, that's something I've also heard. I again am not a good person to ask. Yeah. Okay, so let me go and download movies.json from here. I need to run this again. So actually, let me double check that. Yep, we have all of the movies, and this is also, we have all of the cast. So you know what, actually? Instead of having this, let me go and actually just download the movies, and I'm going to re-download the actors as well. Save. And then I'm going to go and put both of those into the public folder so that I can fetch them. Wait. Okay, so the actors.json and movies.json. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to also download that. And then finally, should we? Wow, is this a pretty large file? What's happening? There we go, finally. Huh. Wait. This one? Okay. I should have just set all of this up offline. Okay. Alright. Now that we have that, let's go and load them into our, because I want to fetch them. Yeah, because this is 40 kilobytes. Movies.json, 360 kilobytes. Okay, so there's two ways that you can load like external files, like external data into your project, and or at least two ways that I know of. And one is I think doing like a import of the JSON file, usually JSON file. I think CSVs, you need some more additional setup to import that in. And what that does is then it includes the data into the bundle, the minified bundle for the JavaScript file when we like push the project. When we build and then deploy the project, it will include that data set, that data file, in as part of the gigantic like minified JavaScript file. And so I tend to do that when the data file is less than 10 kilobytes. But if it is a data file that is more than 10 kilobytes, I will go and do a fetch. So then that means that at runtime, or on web page load, the code will go and do like an external fetch. And so that's kind of like what I've developed in terms of like performance, kind of the rule I've developed for myself for performance. So let's see. So then what I want to do is when this view component is created, I'll go ahead and fetch. And I think for that, I want to do a promise that all. And actually, I'm going to use D3 to load in the JSON files, I think. So I'm going to just say import everything as D3 from D3 module. And then I'm going to pass in this array of d3.json. And if I remember correctly, with Vue CLI, the way that the kind of runtime structure, directory structure, whatever, like the runtime like routing works, is that everything in public should be underneath the like backslash, so like the root directory. And so I should be able to say actors.json, and then d3.json load in slash movies.json, I think. And then so that actors movies console.log actors and movies. And then let me go and inspect element. So this should do a hot reload for me. It just took a while to recompile and hot reload. That took quite a while. Data function, oh, should return an object, yes. I wonder why it took so long to recompile. Return an object. Anyways, object of undefined. Gillian has such good points. Says, Eds, please keep being curious. Perhaps your employer will provide mentorship, workshops, or other ways to supplement your technical skills over time. If they don't, you'd be doing yourself a service doing it on your own and perhaps keeping your eye open for another place. Those are really good points. Lactose Intolerable says, which theme are you using, by the way? For my add-on, it should be the default theme. Let's see. Oh. No, Ed said thank you guys. Themes. UI theme is one dark syntax theme. Yeah, I don't think I've changed it at all, so it's the default. Hello Near This says, my observable link is not on my Twitch profile. I've actually never thought to link that. But wait, okay. What is going on? Instead of created, I think I'm just gonna load it here. Let's see, why aren't you? Okay, so it is being compiled successfully, but it says, just odd. So, wait, is it not created? I have to admit, I haven't coded with Vue since May, so this might be this might be what you're seeing. No, the life. Okay, so created is the right lifecycle hook. So why aren't you? That should be okay. Console.log created. problem? Is that problem gonna... Ah, okay, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. I need to turn this off, the no unused vars thing. I will do that later. Okay, so created, okay. So that's, so, let's see, so created is being called fine. So then, are you just not getting, oh look, it's being fetched correctly too. So why aren't you, oh my god, I'm so stupid, okay. I need a dot then. Alright, should work now. So promise.all and then .then. There we go. Wow, that took way too long. So I'll also do a catch. Okay, so now that we have that, that is, so it took all of this time to just get the data loaded. Okay. Alright, let's at least get those lines drawing. Let's get at least these lines drawing. So, what we want to do is, yes, movies. So let's loop through each of them and then create a line for each movie. Okay, so one of the things I like to do, so with Vue, everything that you put into this data object, Vue will keep track of changes for. And so for actual like the raw data set, I go back and forth in between like if I actually want to like have Vue keep track of those changes. So for now, I'm just gonna say like let actors, let movies, and then I'm just gonna save those in those variables so that so that Vue won't keep track of changes on them. Sometimes, like especially for a larger data set, there is some like performance issues. Okay, so no, I think I'm just overthinking this. Okay, actors, and then movies, object, because I think what I might want to do, data loaded is equal to true. I'm like going back and forth on how I want to do this. Okay, so data loaded is false, and then I'm gonna say this dot data loaded is equal to true, because then once we have the data loaded, so with Vue, you can tell Vue to watch for certain like variables. So here I'm going to say watch for data loaded is changing, and so when return, so when the data has loaded, then go and calculate. Yeah, let's make a method that says, that's called calculate data, and when the data is loaded, let's go and call that, and so what we want to do is loop through. So let's call it this. Okay, so let's call it that for now. It's gonna get confusing for us. So I'm gonna call this lines, and loop through each actor or actress and create a line based on their movie's budget. Movies budgets. Okay, so this dot lines is equal to map. Ooh, I need to load in Lodash. Import underscore from Lodash. And Sabertrue says, is this the IMDb data set? Yes, Gilliam, you're right. It's the movie database, TMDB. And okay, so dot map, and let's loop through each actor. And how does that look? So for each actor, yeah, so for now, I think I'm just going to worry about the movies. And so, let's see. All right, so just get the movies. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll do this. D and return console dot, oh no, not console. Const line generator. So we want to use D3 has a line generator. D3 shape. In the shape module, ooh, look. It knew. Google knew what I wanted. And yeah, so you can either give it an X and Y accessor, or you should just be able to give it an array of 2 values, and then it will automatically assume that that's the X and the Y. Yeah, so if you just give it an array with the X and Y values, which means that actually I need to go and get the, so that means that I need to go and create some scales, because I want to, where the X is equal to the year of movie release, and Y is equal to the budget of movie. So I'm gonna have to do const min max date is equal to d3 dot extend this dot, no, oh, it's not this dot movie, so I saved it as a variable outside of the view component. So okay, d dot date I think is the variable. Yes, and actually seems like I need to do some processing. So here I'm gonna say go through each of the movies, and for the date, just create a new date object. And so then I should be able to get a min and max date and use that to create a time scale and pass that in as the domain. Ooh, okay, now I need to get the, I need to come up with a width. Let's say, let's hard code for now. Just for now, we're going to hard code, because this is more, I'm starting out more with like prototyping than anything else. So, actually, let's do, and then once we get this looking better, then I'll clean it up. But yeah, so let's for now, ooh, I need to give it margins too. Const margins is equal to, let's just give it 20 pixels all around. And so for the range, let's do margin. So the minimum date is my left-hand side, so margin.left. And then right-hand side is my maximum date, so that's width minus margin.right. And then let's go and get the min and max budget. So same thing, use d3.extend, and oh, this might actually might have to, okay, so d.budget, and then go and do y scale is equal to a linear scale for now. We might have to do a logarithmic scale. For now, let's do min and max budget. And the range is, the minimum should be the bottom of the chart. So that is this dot height minus margin dot bottom. And then the top should be margin dot top. I have this feeling that this is going to error out and that min and max date is going to be null because movies is an object. I have this feeling that d3.extend expects this to be an array, but we'll see. So margin, I accidentally called it margins. Margin, you're going to error out. Okay. And instead of this dot height, it's just height. And Gilliam says, just for now, famous words, yes. Famous last words. Actors is assigned. This is so annoying. Oh my god. I need to figure out how to disable you. Okay. Yumi says, bye all, have fun. Thank you. Hopefully I'll finish this in a bit. Like, I feel like it's nighttime. I feel like it's nighttime and I'm just like coding into the night. But no, it's only 3 p.m. Saber True says I wanted to stream some coding in R, but sometimes I work with sensitive data. Yeah, so I think that's the hard part. So when I stream, as of right now, I only stream personal projects, no client projects. So that might be some things that you would need to keep in mind. Gilliam asks, Sabertrue, out of curiosity, does IMDb have a data set as in free of charge and all of that? Oh, wait, I missed some things, it seems like. I haven't, Sabertrue says, I haven't worked in Python for dataviz in a while, having flashbacks. This is JavaScript, actually, not Python. Let's see. Sabertrue says, yeah, search engine should get you there for the IMDb dataset. I think they are TSP files. And yeah, Gilliam says it would be interesting to see how you approach the anonymization process, though. That's a good point. Anna says, Shirley, it's really impressive to me that you're able to write all this code without having to barely, thank you, to barely look at any documentation. It is just years of, I guess I've worked with the D3 library for like 7 or 8 years now. So it's the only library that hasn't, I think every other library I use, like I've like swapped it out for some new library that like does the job better, and D3 just happens to be the one that like has never been swapped out. And so it's just like a lot of practice. And actually that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to like learn new libraries, because I feel like I've gotten too comfortable with this one. Let's see. Hello Near This has a so this is the API docs for, so Hello Near This shared the API docs for TMDB, but not IMDb. Sabertrue says, do you work in science and do this for fun after work? Thanks for sharing. Yeah, of course. So I'm actually a freelancer, and I work with clients on specifically only data visualization projects, so data visualization in the web, but that encompasses that could potentially encompass a lot of different things. Mostly, the sectors I work with the most is like tech, media, and journalism. And these days I'm trying to work less in tech. But yeah, so yes, so not science actually, just mostly not really like a particular industry or anything, because even journalism, like that could be anything that's a story with a data set. So I don't think I particularly like focus on any specific industries. It really is just whatever clients approach me with or whatever I personally find it interesting in. So I'm gonna try and finish this part. So something that's happening right now is this is not getting console logged, so I'm gonna have to double or debug and see what is happening. So let's go into app.vue, and I'm gonna say I want a debug. Whoa, Chrome is doing something. Chrome has it. Okay, so I hope that's like a debugger thing. Whoa, things are happening. Okay, yeah. So error and callback. Whoa, yeah. Chrome is doing new things. The Chrome dev tools. So yeah. So this is exactly what I was expecting. D3.extent does not only accepts arrays. Or not only arrays, but iterable objects, and since movies is an object, so I'm just gonna do this the easier way out. I'm just gonna turn this into an array, and then should hopefully work. Perfect. So, right, that's not what I wanted. There we go. So there's 1960 to 2024. Wow, things in the future. Oh wait, I was going to also. Okay, so there's also min and max budget. I just want to get a line on the screens. So I'm sorry for everyone in Europe that's tuned in. But hopefully, we'll get this in a few more minutes. Okay, so we're also going to create a line generator. So line gen is equal to d3.line. And here, I'm just going to say return, let's do this, path is this.lineGen, and, paths and lines is equal to map, and let's go through all of the movies, and for each movie, let us, return, I have to go and find the movie in question. So my movies is an object, so that, no. So the movie, is it d.id? The movie ID, yes, movie ID, that's the one I want. d.movie ID, and then I'm going to return an array, and the X needs to be the date. So actually, hold on. I think this is fine also. Okay, so I think, yeah. So let's give it this.xscale and pass in the release date, and then the budget, this.yscale, d.budget. Thank you so much, Isna. Oh my God, hi. Isna, you I think I remember meeting you from my equals stream, if I remember correctly. But thank you so much for subscribing. And let's see, budget. Oh my god, I wonder if the smoke is getting worse because my eyes are starting to itch a little bit. Okay, so console.log lines, and hopefully, and then pass in these lines, and then hopefully what we should see when we console log all of them is an array of objects where the path is an SVG path string. And we're going to console log a bunch of things. And let's see, movies is assigned a value but never used. And 63. Movies. Oh wait. That's because that's what it should be. And then that should hopefully get it working. And then if this is the right one, perfect. And so this should be path is a string. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so now, and now I'm going to, so now that we have the data part set up, we should be able to go into the, wow, now my throat is getting itchy. I hope, wow. Yeah, it looks pretty like orange and gray out there. Okay, we're gonna use SVG. You know what? Let's do this. Let's go ahead and put width and height in the data. So, the other way that, so with Vue, in the Vue templates, if I want to be able to access a variable, I have to put it in data down here. So that's why I just put the width and height within that data object. And this is gonna probably look really ugly, but I'm gonna create a SVG path. And for that SVG path, I want the define attribute to be the path stream that we just created. And I'm just gonna, for the stroke, I'm gonna make it orange. I don't know why. I'm just gonna do that for now. And then fill is none. And if I did this correctly, which is not a guarantee, but if we did, then we should be able to see a bunch of, nope, okay. Oh, I have to give a key for each of them. So actually, you know what? Let us put in an ID, and for each actor, let's give their ID, their actor ID. So then now I should be able to do key and d.id. And ooh, that looks questionable. I think maybe we might need to sort the movies. I wonder if the movies not huh. It's definitely not the way that I wanted to finish this. Well, actually, okay, so let me do interpolate, no, dot curve, I think is D3 dot curve cap more ROM, I think. So dot curve lets me do, yeah, so instead of these, like, you know, the linear, like, drawing just a straight line between the points, dot curve, D3 dot curve, or line dot curve gives me, like, I can tell it how to, like, what kind of curve to draw between each point. But even then, that's not what I was expecting. So, Sabertree says, how long have you worked as a freelance visualizer? I've been working for 4 years. Yeah, so since 2016. Anna says, it's actually interesting to watch you figure this out. Thank you. Izuna says, hi, you're awesome at what you're doing. This is so dope to see it come together. And yes, that's correct. Thank you so much. I was surfing your portfolio aside. Oh, thank you. Helium says, seems weird that they would use a syntax like width is equal to width. Looks a bit redundant. Oh, no. So this is, this variable comes from down here. So width and height. So this height is this height. So I can rename this to anything else. I can be like W and W and then it will still work. So it does not work. Oh, yeah, that's because I need to do this and now it will work. All right. Lactose intolerable says, this is the true programming experience. Yes. And this should, nope. 100% got a sort. Yes. When you hear this says lines. So, let's sort that. I thought I was under the assumption that the movies were already sorted. Okay, so let's sort you by the release date, and then oops, so this has to go back to being with. No, see, it was sorted. So what is going on? What is going on? So I think view, yes. Okay, so all right, so what we're going to do is we're also going to remember lines so that we can debug lines. Huh. No. So let us do this. Whoa. So many errors. Okay. Ooh, I can now hear my laptop fan getting more intense. Ooh, so many. Okay. So yes. Okay, this makes sense. So it's because there's undefined. Because apparently, okay, this makes sense. So the X is undefined because it doesn't have a date. So I think we should probably just filter those out if there is no date, because I think those are the ones in the future. So let's go ahead and filter the dates out. Those without dates, we'll filter those out. And then let's see if that looks like it makes any more sense. And now you are empty. Okay. Man. Okay. It's because of the way that this is structured. All right. So, whoa. Okay, so we've gotten somewhere. There's still some things that are okay, so now I'm getting confused because, you know what, I'm gonna do this. All right, so for actors, I'm gonna go through and And I'm gonna go through each of the actors' movies. And alright, I am not sure why we're still getting some of these undefined. So I'll probably figure it out offline and then come back. But I'm just gonna put in an x-axis. Actually, no, we've gone way over time already. Let's see. Saber True says, gotta go. Have a great day. Thanks for joining. Hopefully see you next time. Anna says, from K20, Shirley, from K20. I must have missed that message. Oh, Shirley has a course about D3. I can't remember the link to it though. I think it's on Front End Masters. Yes. Thank you for the link, Gilliam. High altitude. If X is date, that array also didn't look sorted. Yes, so now I think it is. No, it's not sorted. So yeah, I think I have an idea of what to do, and then I'll figure it out, and then hopefully be able to walk you through it next time, which is Friday. Because you are right. Yes, you are right. It was going 500, 700, 600. And let's see. Fang said, always wanted to get into data, but never knew what I wanted to do. This seems pretty cool and would probably be a nice skill to pick up. Awesome. Vanyagenis says, sorry, I just joined. What's the angle of this project? And Gilliam answers, tough question to answer. This is ongoing. Yes, that is a very good answer to that question. So the data set is basically the cast members for the movie Crazy Rich Asians that came out 2 years ago. And then all of the movies that they've been in, and for the last few weeks, we've also done some analysis or tried to do some analysis of those movies, and the end goal is to try and see if, because when Crazy Rich Asians was released, the hope was that this was going to like allow for more better Asian American or Asian Western representation in Hollywood. And so I'm trying to explore that via the data. And then we just got to a point where we've done a bit of analysis. And so we were trying to, this is like the sketch for, which I guess if you didn't watch me do this, it's probably really confusing as to like what it's supposed to be, but we're trying to implement this. And there's some bugs. And that's why it's ending up looking like this. And yeah, I'm going to go and debug this. Usina asks, how long does it take for you on average to finish a data visualization project, or does this just really depend on how you want represented the amount of the data? Yeah, it really depends. The simpler projects are probably like a few weeks, like not working on it full time. It's like part-time working on it. Probably like 2 or 3 weeks. From like getting the data and analyzing it, or sometimes I like the simpler ones. I don't even really analyze it. And like designing, and so like this one is probably one of the fastest ones, and this one was probably 2 or 3 weeks. Pardon my laptop. It is going quite slowly and unhappily right now, but this one was probably 2 or 3 weeks. And on the longer side, I think for the like completed ones, I think 3 or 4 months. And so another, I guess, pretty representative one is this project took, I think, 3 months part-time to like get the data and do the analysis and do the writing, like figuring out like the story and doing the writing and like implementing all of the visuals. So and then there are many that have not finished that are in project limbo. But on average, I think somewhere between like 2 or 3 weeks to like 3 or 4 months. If I'm like, trying to finish it. Some of the like personal projects, just like I just like never got enough time to finish it sometimes. But yeah, if I'm like gung ho about finishing it, this one, now think about it. This one, I did this one in like 5 or 6 weeks. And so I had help from some really talented people. And so for this one, I had a data scientist I was working with, an epidemiologist that we were getting kind of advice from, and Egghead was lending me like production support, so like the illustrations and the non-visualization parts of the UI they were helping me with, and it took me 6 weeks. And honestly, looking back, like I am, in all that I finished it in 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks from start to finish. And I think 3 or 4 of those weeks were in purely 3 or 4 weeks of purely coding. But I think this was like basically full time. I think I spent like 200 plus hours on this. Yeah, I think about maybe 250 hours in total doing like all of the like all of the kind of like project management and communication and story and design and coding. And yeah, so this was about 250 hours. And Mr. Wolo Lo Warlord. Wolo Lo Warlord. What a fun handle. Are you using any tools, or are you going to code it in JavaScript? So I do use some JavaScript libraries. So the libraries I tend to use a lot is D3+Vue, Greensock Animation, and Lodash. Those are like the 4 that I use pretty much. Or no, sorry, the 3 that I use for almost every project is D3+Vue and Lodash. But yeah, so those are the tools. And Gilliam says, this is a rather small data set still, so JavaScript may be good enough. I agree. He says, Zane does such a broad spectrum time-wise. I'm guessing these projects in corporate, it's not just you working on the dataviz, but rather a team of people. No, so these are all of my freelance projects. So the first 2 projects I showed was just all me. And this is the only one that I had a few other people's help. So this is not corporate. I'm a freelancer. So these are, when I say 3 weeks or 3 months for the previous 2 projects I showed, that was just me working on it. And Mr. Wololo Warlord, I work with data and struggle mostly with data visualization. Any recommendations for someone who doesn't code in JavaScript? So this isn't going to be like personal experience because I code in JavaScript, but I know that there's like R is really great in terms of like for analysis, and this is purely my observation. Like I've never used R, and I think they also have a lot of, is it called ggplot, like libraries that have really, it seems like really great visualization support. So maybe that one will help. And I know in Python, I think it's matplotlib, right? That also has visualization support. So that might be helpful. I know a lot of people use Tableau. I've never used Tableau. And that's, I think, a non-code option. I'm actually personally quite a fan of a service called Data Wrapper. Um, so which is kind of like it's created for journalists, and it's a way for you to kind of like load in your data and choose like your visual encodings, and then it kind of helps you generate visualizations. So depending on, oh yeah, there we go. So you can, yeah, kind of choose your chart and edit it. Um, so depending on your needs, that might also be helpful. Um, yeah, so. Isna says amazing. Thank you so much, Isna. um, and Tusharm says Python 2. Alice, oh, it's okay. Thanks for joining though. For some reason, Twitch didn't notify me of the stream, and I'm late. I hope it's not over soon. We're actually wrapping up because we've gone quite late, especially for all the people in Europe. But I'll be here on Friday. Tushan says Tableau is awesome but very expensive. Very true. Although I think they have like a student version. Also AWS QuickSight. I've actually never heard of that. Gilliam says, unless you have graphical tendencies, aspirations yourself, perhaps don't sweat too much the actual visualization details. Choose a straightforward way to do it. Yeah, that's a good point. So I mean, like I think Excel also, even Excel has like ways to do charts, and I've seen some really incredible things done in Excel. But I think um, one of the I feel like dataviz, the hard part isn't actually in the coding or the technical implementation. The hard part really is in the design and trying to communicate the data across to like an end audience. And so that might be the part that would be worth concentrating on. And then it might be that one of these tools that we've talked about might be able to help you kind of just like practice that design side. And alternate asks, do you do D3? Yeah, so I work with D3. Um, yeah, so Helen Yurda says Data Wrapper looks like a cool free option. Mr. Wololo, I'm very much enjoying saying your handle. Mr. Wololo Warlord. Data Wrapper seems really good. I work with mostly Matplotlib, Seaborn. Ooh, interesting, Seaborn. But certain things like interactivity is limited when it comes to Matplotlib and Seaborn. That makes sense. I hear that a lot, and I've never used Data Wrapper either. So I don't know about their interactivity. I have heard that about Matplotlib, and I think to some extent I've heard that I think about ggplot and R too, and that's why I think a lot of people that started out in those places ended up kind of learning JavaScript and learning D3 just because like the web allows for so much like shareability and interactivity. So yeah, I mean, if it is something that you ultimately want to get to, it might be like a fun thing to learn. But again, I think with dataviz, the harder problem is the design side, and that I think that should be what we concentrate on getting experience solving. And so yeah, I think Gilliam has a good point of like, don't sweat like which tool you end up using. It really is, dataviz at the end of the day is trying to solve a problem, trying to solve a communication problem essentially. And thank you, Gilliam. Tusham says, in my experience, JavaScript is most customizable. Tableau is fastest to get to an output. REST, Python, or QuickSight have specific things they can do, specialized use cases. That's a good summary. I think there's like also a few blog posts out there that like go and compare all of these different tools, like charting tools. So that might be worth checking out too. But it is 3:42 p.m. Thank you so much for joining today. I feel like my eyes are like starting to tear up. I don't know if like the smoke is getting worse or something. We have like vents that like kind of like outside air kind of like seeps in. So I'm going to end it here today because my eyes are and throat is starting to burn a tiny bit. I hope that oh, Tushar says mask math. I have not seen this. The multiplicative power of masks. Um, Thank you for sharing. And I will thank you for staying until the very end. This one was a particularly long one. Wow. um, but I will see you on Friday. And hopefully on Friday, we will figure out what is going on here. Well, I'll probably have this figured out and hopefully we can move on Friday. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.